Everyone knows that Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, they got a lot of Bitcoin, about 130,000 Bitcoin or so approximately. And now that the price of Bitcoin has fallen down to around $30,000, there's a lot of people speculating. What are they going to do? Are they going to sell any of that Bitcoin? Will they be forced to liquidate any of it? What would the ramifications be if one of the large holders of Bitcoin actually went ahead and sold? Now, of course, we have an example of a large holder having to sell recently. The Terra ecosystem. They had to liquidate almost 80,000 Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's price definitely went down, touched around $26,000. But ultimately, Bitcoin is resilient, and Bitcoin just stayed strong. And we continue to see all the underlying fundamentals continue to get stronger. Everything from hash rate to nodes on the Lightning Network, the number of holders, and also those with at least $300 in their Bitcoin wallet addresses. So ultimately, that big seller of the Terra ecosystem didn't have nearly as big of an impact as many people had previously thought. So going back to MicroStrategy, what is going to happen there? Well, they just came out and publicly said it. They have a brand new CFO, and that new CFO on Wednesday said its strategy to buy and hold Bitcoin long term won't change despite the recent sell-off in the digital asset. As we've heard Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger say multiple times before, their favorite holding period is forever, and their strategy is to buy great assets and hold them for forever. And so it seems like Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, they believe that great asset is Bitcoin. And regardless of whether Bitcoin's price is up, down, or sideways, they're going to continue to accumulate it, and they have no plans to sell. This is important because what we do know is that many of the best performing stocks over the last 20 years, they were super volatile. Something like Amazon literally went down over 90% one time. It's drawn down over 30% year after year after year, but yet it remained one of the best performers. And so that volatility actually was a test. If you were a long-term thinker and you bought the asset and you simply held it, somebody like a Bill Miller, then of course you did very well. Bitcoin's the exact same thing. It's gone down over 50% 4 times in the last 4 years. Those who have held through all that volatility, they've done pretty well so far. Now, that doesn't mean that the history of Bitcoin ends up actually telling us anything about the future. But what it does tell us is that many of the same timeless investing principles that are applicable to stocks, commodities, and real estate, they're just as applicable to Bitcoin as well. And so to see Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, and their new CFO come out and say, we ain't selling. In fact, nothing about our strategy is going to change regardless of Bitcoin's price. Tells you everything you need to know about their courage and conviction. This is either the greatest trade on Wall Street or it's going to be disastrous. I tend to think that history will be very kind to MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, and the rest of that business, but time will tell.